Hi, it's a lipstick gal. Thank you so much for watching today. Let's talk about my favorite three products, the top three in each category. Now, here's where I tell you, except for lips. This was easy to break down, and it was kind of like, yeah, this. And then I realized, oh, wait, I can't throw lips into here because with someone as lip product obsessed as me, it would be nearly impossible for me to find just three lip products and go, and these are the ones. So we'll do a video on that coming up, but let me start with favorite bases and foundations. Here's one that is no secret. This is my Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin. I wear the shade number 2. Man, I love this stuff. I'm like halfway through. I think this is a beautiful formula. First of all, it looks like my skin, and it's very, very lightweight, but it does have a good medium coverage to it. It's medium and buildable. I don't always want like a ton of coverage, but I do know that just a little bit of help is going to knock down what I have on my face when it comes to pigmentation or redness. And this seems to do it. It lasts really well. It doesn't settle into any of my forehead lines or crow's feet, and for that reason, I really, really like this a lot. Another one of my favorites is more of a skin tint, but she's beautiful. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. I wear the shade number 2 in this. This is if you wanted your skin to look like it got a drink of water and was perfectly hydrated and not too heavy, just enough coverage, you still look like you. This is gonna do it. I love this so much, and it works really well with her concealer, but I use this with all sorts of things. And sometimes just a little bit of this on days when I need, just like a little bit of evening out. I'll throw a little bit of this on, a little bit of cream blush, mascara, brows, and I'm out the door. The one that I'm wearing today and is still an eternal favorite is the Merit Minimalist. I have 3 shades of this now. When I first tried it, I got their lightest neutral shade, which was Silk. And Silk was way too dark for me. So I opted for the lightest shade at the time, which was Bone. They recently, just this month, have they come out with a shade extension. Now they have 30 shades. They started out with 16, and now they have 30 shades, and I love it. And they have filled in some gaps on both ends of the spectrum and in between where there were some gaps, and I really, really like that. But this is one of those that I like to just like scribble on, and then I'll take probably my Merit brush and like buff it in. I love it. I like it so much. I have 2, and here's my dirty one. But I feel like this foundation is really easy, just to blend in. This is the shade that works really well for me. This is the shade Chiffon. This is now currently the lightest neutral shade, and I think it's beautiful, and I feel like it looks like me. It's the right shade finally. All right, concealers. This one was like super easy. It's like, which ones do I use the most? First of all, my most loved Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. It's like if I need to really, really hit like a dark spot or some redness, or I want to just throw on a little bit of this, blend it out, not use foundation, oh, she can do it, and it's beautiful. If I'm wearing a foundation that's a little bit on the light side, but I still want really good coverage where it doesn't end up looking cakey and dry, I love the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. This is one heavy duty, if not the heaviest duty concealer I have in my collection. Like, this is no joke. You need the smallest amount, but it does a really great job. I have this in the shade Birch. Natasha Denona, by the way, I have in the shade N1. This is the lightest neutral, and I think, unless they've expanded their shade range, this is just the lightest shade. This one works really well for me. Another one that I love because it is so creamy and it is so easy, and you can use it either as like spot concealing and a little bit of foundation, or you can use it just as concealer on top of a foundation, is this one right here from Tower 28. This is beautiful. It's creamy, it's hydrating. I do have to set it more than the other ones. The other ones don't need as much setting to keep them in place, but this sheared out on the skin is fantastic. It also never makes my under eyes look dry or crepey. I really, really like that. I wear the shade BU in this. I wish I knew what that stood for, but that's the shade that I wear. Favorite powders, I'm gonna start with the loose powder that I love, 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 love is this. This is the RMS Hydra Powder. This is one of probably my favorite loose powder of the moment. I just am trying for the first time today the new one from Makeup by Mario, but I don't know because I'm only worn it today. But if I'm counting on or going to recommend a loose powder, it would have been the Givenchy Voile Rosé, but then they reformulated and now like, no thank you. This is the next one I would say. If you want something that is lightweight, that looks like your skin, that doesn't look drying, that doesn't, make your under eyes look dry and crepey, this Hydra Powder from RMS is very similar to their blush formula, to any of their other powder formulas, because it has an ability to set your face, to, if you're using it as a finishing powder, to kind of go over and make everything come together without looking heavy. That's what this is so good at. I wear the lightest shade. It's just called light. So the next powder is a pressed powder. It's an absolute love of mine. I've gone through so many of these. It's from Beauty Pie. It's their One Powder Wonder in the shade Uber Lucent Universal. I have a backup of this waiting in the wings because this is one I never want to be without. Sometimes Beauty Pie doesn't have stuff in stock and you have to wait for them to get it from their supplier. And this is one of those things I never want to be without. So I always have the one that I'm using and the one that is waiting in the wings. And when I crack into the one that's waiting in the wings, my next Beauty Pie order always contains one of these. But you can see if I've already hit kind of like the plastic grid at the bottom. What I love about this powder, it is very, very lightweight. It looks white, but once you get it on the skin, you can't tell. It doesn't ever make my skin look dry. It has the smallest amount of luminosity to it, so your skin looks like skin. It doesn't look like it's been heavily powdered. I don't have to go in with a setting spray after this because I don't look like powdery and dusty. I really, really, really like that about this powder. The other thing is, do you know the Pat McGrath Under Eye Setting Powder, the one that's like $34 and comes in a little teeny tiny compact? I feel like this is identical to it, but you're getting the, 8 grams? I think Miss Pat McGrath is like 3 to 4 grams. You're getting at least twice as much, if not more, in this. And I know you can't just walk into a Sephora or an Ulta and pick it up like you can with Pat. If you're willing to purchase from Beauty Pie or you already have a membership, this is worth it, even if you were to pay full price for it, because you're getting so much and it's beautiful. And I can use this for setting my under eyes, for setting my T-zone. I can use this all over the face. I can use it as a finishing powder. She's stunning. This is the one product I've probably had in my collection, or, not this exact one, but one of these for the longest time out of anything else, because I think everything else gets reformulated, and I don't think these do because they're just utter perfection. And it's the ambient lighting powders from Hourglass. I have the shade Diffuse Light, another one that I've hit the terracotta tile on. When I'm hitting pan, it's a favorite. I need to pick up another one of these in the upcoming sale because at this point it's really hard to hit the corners. I will figure it out. But what I love about this powder is it is absolutely undetectable under my eyes. The older I get, the harder it is to find something that's like that, which is why I love all 3 of these powders, because I can use them anywhere on my face. I don't want to have to reach for just an under eye setting powder. I don't want to have to reach for just a finishing powder. I want something I can use everywhere because I don't always have time to pull out, 2, 3 different powders, and I don't always want to. But this is one of those, like the other 2, that is multitasking. You can use it anywhere on the face, and it's beautiful. If you're wanting a subtle glow, this is great for a finishing powder, just to kind of help bring everything together. I've gone through countless compacts of this and will pick up another one. Really, 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 really love this formula, and the shade Diffuse Light is my favorite, my holy grail. When it comes to powder bronzers, this was I know exactly what it is. One, my Gucci bronzer. Ooh, this is like the bronzer that can do no wrong. This is the shade number 1. It's the lightest one. It has a little bit of a rosy lean to it. You can use it as a blush and a bronzer and call it good. You can use it in the socket of the eye if you're wanting to do like a really easy one and done monochrome look where you've got just a little bit of definition, a little bit of bronzer. You really don't need a lot. I also love the packaging packaging. The packaging is beautiful, but it is one of my most reached for and favorite bronzers. Another one that I picked up this year that I absolutely love is the RMS Hydra Bronze. This is called Beach Walk Betty. It's the lightest shade from RMS. Oh my goodness. Another one that leans slightly on the pink side. This is so beautiful. It has a little bit of radiance to it, not a lot. But you can see there's a little bit of shine to this. The reason that I like that, the Gucci is matte and my next one is matte as well. But this, when you put it on with a soft brush, it doesn't look glowy or highlighty. It looks like your skin. Sometimes matte powders can make me look a little bit flat. I never look flat with this. It just looks good. That's what I want. The other thing that's great about this is, guess what? She's refillable. You can grab another one of these and use the refill in here. It's fantastic. Love these so much. I really feel like these powder products from RMS, whether it's the loose powder, the bronzer, just absolutely stunning. Now the last one is probably the newest one, but I can't stop reaching for it. It's the new one from Lancome. This is absolutely stunning. This is their CE Skin Transforming Bronzer. I have the 01 Fair shade. All of my bronzers are always the lightest shade. Just keep that in mind. Love this. This is one of those that I can put on with Wild Abandon with the biggest like powder brush that I have, and you would like hardly know it all. I don't feel like I'm over bronzed, but I'm the perfect level of bronze for my fair skin. This is one of those where I don't have to be careful, where I don't have to kind of keep an eye on it. I can kind of just like apply like a 5-year-old in mommy's makeup, and it comes out looking perfect every time. I love this. I like the way that it looks on the skin. I like the way that it doesn't kind of make me look heavy or cakey. It is absolutely seamless and stunning. If you don't have one of these, highly recommend. So for cream bronzers, I have really been liking this one here from Glossier. This is their Cloud Paint. They recently, I think it was just this summer, expanded the shade range to include bronzers. This is the lightest shade in Sail, and it's one of those, like, I didn't think I'd been using this much, but like I've been going through the tube. This is one of those that's really easy. I'll put a little blob of it, a little squeeze blob on the back of my hand, pick it up with a synthetic brush and just like boop, 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 and I'm good to go. It's so easy. I have not taken this out of my daily makeup drawer since I got it. And I got it late spring, early summer. And it's what, mid-September, and I'm still reaching for it. Really, really, really like it. Another one that I'm absolutely head over heels for is this one from Makeup by Mario. This is the Soft Sculpt Skin Enhancer. It, like, another one that I've hit pan on. Okay, I just realized there is like a lot of fuzz in here. The truth is, I use a giant brush in this. I will pick up a brush like this, plop it in here, and then just do this. And a brush this big softly diffuses this out. And this is such, I mean, look, it's hardly there, hardly there. So if I pick it up on the brush and then just pounce it on, it blends it for me. It is stupid easy to apply, stupid easy. And I realize that this sitting out, this brush probably gets cat hair and lint on it. And then I go and I transfer it to here. I should clean it out sometime. Despite all the lint and cat hair, one of my absolutely favorite makeup products in my entire collection. Last favorite cream bronzer is from M Cosmetics. This is their So Soft Bronzing and Contour Stick. This is my favorite shade in Terra. It is very much a contour shade. It's less a bronzer and more of a contour. I do have the shade Summer that is a bronzing shade, but it blends like with no effort. It's so easy to blend. That's what I want, ease. I don't want to have to sit here and play and hold my breath and cross my fingers and am I doing it just right so I don't mess things up. I want things that are really easy. This is one of those, and I really, really love it, which is why I also love the So Soft blushes from M. If we're talking about cream blush, this is one of my favorite formulas. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. This is my favorite shade in Demure. Demure is very much kind of like a beigey rose shade. She's so pretty, so pretty. You can just do like a little swipe and use your fingers and blend. You could use a brush and blend. You could use like a little teeny tiny puff and blend. Like, it's super easy, damp sponge. Love these So Soft formulas from M. They're so good. All right, while we're talking about M, let's talk about this. This is a formula they only have 2 shades in. They have a cool and a warm. And this is their Pillow Plush Blush. My favorite one is the shade Peanut. Now, the truth is, I am so close to the bottom that every time I get in here, because it is kind of like a putty, I always hit the bottom and I'm always like, no, not yet. So I'm pulling stuff from the sides and kind of like trying to cover it up. This is such an easy blush. Like, I need just a little bit more, but not too much. I can use this with either my fingers. My favorite way is just to grab a synthetic brush, dab on a little bit, make sure that I'm bouncing off any excess in the back of my hand, and then just give myself like just a little bit extra. And it's just enough and not too much. And that's why I love it. It's easy and it's kind of like my problem solver. Love this. When it comes to cream blushes, one of the ones that I always think of is from Ritual de Fille. I love this so much. This is their Inner Glow Cream Pigment, and this is the shade Desire. Okay, this is a brand that I don't have very much from, but when I fall in love with one of their products, I fall in love. I do have another one from Ritual de Fille in the shade Bloodflower, and I've hit pan on that. Like, it's beautiful. But this does the same thing that this one does. If I need just a little bit more, but not too much, that's what I use this for. If I feel like my color is a little too bright for the rest of my face, this shade here, it is so pretty because it looks gray. It's not gray though, because when you put it on and you blend it out, it's a really pretty like mauve shade. It's so lovely, super subtle, super, super gorgeous. Now, can you build it up? Of course, but on my fair skin, I try and keep it from getting to be too obvious, but the formula is beautiful. It goes great over set powders, goes great over other creams and liquids. Love that so much. Now, if we're talking powder blush, first one I thought of instantly is this. This is the Pat McGrath Divine Blushes. And this one here is in the shade Flirtatious. Flirtatious is my perfect pale, kind of beigey pink, where it's just enough, where it's not too much. And that's always what I'm looking for, just enough and not too much, because sometimes I get to the point where I'm like, oh my goodness, I look like I stepped right out of 1987, or like I'm a toddler playing in my mom's makeup. This keeps me from that because it is such a beautiful, desaturated shade of blush. Another one that I'm wild for is the RMS Hydra Blushes. This is very much like their bronzer formula. It's radiant, it's beautiful. This one right here is called Crystal Slipper. It's, I think, the lightest shade that they make, and she's so pretty. I like that this one leans a little bit warm, where the other one from Pat McGrath is a little bit more neutral. And another one that I have 5 of these, and there aren't really that many. This is the Heaven's Glow blush from M Cosmetics. It's a radiant baked blush. These come from Italy, like that's where they're manufactured. They're so beautiful. This is my favorite shade here. This one is in Baroque, but I love every single one of the ones that I have. This gives me just a little bit of glow, just a little bit of color without being too much, and that's always what I'm looking for. This keeps me from looking powdery because it does have just that hint of radiance to it, like the one from RMS. The one from Pat McGrath is completely matte, but Pat does have some formulas that have a little bit of a pearl to them in this blush formula, but I tend to like this shade over another one that I have that does have a little bit of pearl to it. But these are my most reached for powder blushes. Okay, powder highlights are few and far between the older that I get. The more I lean on liquids and creams. But one of the ones that I absolutely love, but I have to be really careful when I wear, is from Rare Beauty. This is the shade Mesmerize. Okay, I will tell you, I have 2 of these and they both have broken. And I have repressed them shamelessly. I feel like the formula is so delicate that you just look at it cross-eyed and it's like, broken. That's what I feel like. This one here in Mesmerize is a beautiful pink shade. I find that repressing it does not affect the highlight at all. It is absolutely stunning. I also have the one that's kind of like the pearly white. I think that one's called Enlighten. It's beautiful, but they both like broke within the first couple weeks of me having them and I had to repress them. RMS really hits it out of the park with their powders. I cannot tell you how much I love this. This is the only shade of highlight that RMS has in the powder formula. This is Prosecco Fizz, and this is their Hydra Luminizer, I think it is. But what's great about this is that it doesn't actually ever make my almost 50-year-old skin look dry. Like 50, she's coming. January, and I'll be like half a century. And I find that I reach less and less for my powder highlights because it can be so, like, if you put it in the wrong place and it catches in my crow's feet, it's like, oh no. Or if I get it too close in through here and it gets on some of my larger pores, I just have to be so careful. Whereas, you know, a decade ago, I could apply powder highlight with Wild Abandon, and it was kind of like the one thing that I loved almost as much as lipstick. But it's very rare for me to find a powder formula that just looks stunning. This one does, and I would say probably out of all my powder formulas, this is the one that I reach for the most and that I recommend the most. Okay, this is stunning and beautiful, but out of all of the highlights, the one that I reach for the least. Still fantastic, and I still love it. But this is from Pat McGrath. This is the shade Golden Moonlight. It's really fair. It's pretty. It is a look. I mean, it is so glowy. You have to be so careful with this. But it's one of those that never really makes my skin look dry. Sometimes powders can look like they're sitting on the surface of the skin. This doesn't do that. It always kind of blends in and kind of melts into the skin. It looks so pretty. And I really like the Pat McGrath formula for highlight, but not all shades work for me. I do have one that's a little bit deeper, and it's just too dark because it's darker than my skin tone. But this one here, oh, she's so lovely. I lumped liquids and creams together because there's only one liquid, and it's this. It's the Lisa Eldridge Elevated Glow. My favorite shade is this one here. This is Crystal Nebula. This is my second package of Crystal Nebula. I do have other Lisa Eldridge like elevated glows. Look, they're almost gone. This is Cosmic Rose and then Pink Moon, and my second container of this. This is the liquid formula that is worth it to me. I know a lot of people like the Hollywood Flawless filter from Charlotte Tilbury. It's nice. This is stellar. This is stellar. And every time I put it on, people ask me, what are you wearing? I love this so much. It doesn't add any texture to my skin. It's beautiful. I do have to be careful because it is a liquid that I try and put it down first and then put blush over the top, because if I put blush down and then I try and tap this over the top, sometimes it disturbs the blush and I have to add a little bit more blush to kind of bring it all together. But if I'm using this where I put the highlight down and then I blush on top, absolute perfection. This is so pretty. Here's one that I've had for a solid year and I've liked so much I picked up a second shade, and it's the KJH Hyper Shine Kit. All right, this is a really interesting product because this right here is a gloss. It's a clear, shiny gloss, and the pigment comes in this little jar. It's a little glass jar. I really, really love it. This light pink shade is my favorite. I also have the light gold, but you take some of this, you mix it in with some of the glow from the, and then it ends up looking like this. Now I know that like, oh wait, that looks like it's a lot, but I can use this, you know, just pick some up and tap it over the top, and it makes my skin look fresh and dewy. It doesn't have to be like this, but it looks like this, and it's so beautiful. It doesn't pick up my foundation. It doesn't matter if I'm putting it over powder. It works. I don't know what sort of alchemy that is. It seems like it shouldn't work, but it's beautiful. Like if I just want to do a little bloop, 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 it's not going to mess up. And I'm wearing nothing but powder today, like powder highlight, powder blush. It's flawless. It is expensive though. If you get the whole kit, it comes with a brush. I don't reach for the brush. I usually just use my fingers, but the brush, the gloss, as well as the pigment is $75. But the truth is, I've had it for a year and I use it all the time, and I'm gonna, like, I don't know, this is gonna last me forever. And now that I have a second one, like the gold one, been reaching for it a lot, and I still have so much of this. And you can use this as an eye gloss, as a lip gloss, as a whatever gloss you want. If you want to make a blush kind of a little bit glowier, add a little bit of this kind of shiny serum in there, and it is so good. Last one is one that I've recently fallen in love with, and it's the Balm Essential from Chanel. Oh my goodness. My favorite shade is the one in Sculpting. That's this one right here. It looks like this. And it's one of those where I pick it up with my fingers and I tap it on. My skin looks radiant, my skin looks hydrated, but it doesn't look powdery. It doesn't look like glittery. It doesn't look like it's like shiny and like a reflective surface. It just looks like juicy and hydrated. That's what I want. I like this so much. I have 3 of them. Did I need 3? No. I don't know how I ended up with 3. I got the first one and then I liked it so much. I'm like, oh, I think I want to pick up the pink one in Dragé. And the next thing I knew, I had also ordered a limited edition one for summer. I think that one's called Midnight Kiss. And now I have 3 of these. Like, that's how much I'm obsessed with these. These are so good. They're $48. They are expensive, but I feel like it doesn't really take a lot, and a little bit really brings life to the face, the same way the Hyper Shine kit from this does, the same way the Lisa Eldridge does. I'm finding the older I get, the more I'm leaning on liquids and creams and balms and things like that when it comes to highlight. Eyeshadow was hard. I told myself that I needed to pick things that if I had to like move and I could only take a small handful of things with me, which ones would I not want to leave the house without? The first one is this. This is a very well-loved Viseart palette. This is the Cashmere palette. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. It can do so much. This half right here, these 6 pans right here are very much neutral with a hint of warmth in through here. And then over here we have some really pretty minky taupes along with kind of like a silvery platinum shade here and these richer berry tones. You can use either, you know, this side of the palette or this side of the palette, or you could mix and match together and get some of the best looks. I love these étendue size palettes from Viseart. This is the one that I have had, I think, not the longest, but the one that gets the most use. And I couldn't imagine not putting this in my top 3. All right, another one instantly that I was like, yeah, Natasha Denona, I Need a Nude. This is everything that I want. We've got some dark shades. We've got some really pretty light shades in here. And the fact that this leans so cool, which is very much where I'm at right now. I want cool shades. I did pick up the I Need a Warm and I've been having fun playing with that, but it kind of has made me go, where's my I Need a Nude? Because it is that cooler nude palette, and the fact that this is desaturated works so well for my fair skin. I know this probably wouldn't work well for everybody. If you have a really rich skin tone, it may not be for you, but for me, on the opposite end of the spectrum, it's what I need, where it's not too much and just enough. Last one for eyeshadow. Man, it's my favorite from Sydney Grace. It's Enduring Love. Now, it doesn't come in this packaging anymore. It comes in cardboard packaging, and all the pans are round now, but this was the original one that debuted. My goodness, it'll be 5 years in January because it came out January 2020. But I love like this right here and these shades right in through here, the ones that I use the most. I do sometimes pull in like this dark charcoal shade here, or this interesting kind of green grungy shade. I don't really use the purples or the blue, but I use everything else. And the formulas are absolutely impeccable. My favorite shade ever is in here. It's called Devotion. Just look at that. It's so beautiful, so perfect. I love this so much. And this is one of those I couldn't imagine not having if I had to cut down to like just the barest 3. Eyeliners, for me, it comes down to formula. Oddly enough, all these are in brown. Because brown is usually what I wear. But my favorite eyeliner, I would say hands down, is from M Cosmetics. It's their illustrative liner. I usually have it in brown. I do have some black ones. I think I have a black one as well right now, but normally I pick this up in brown because the brown is actually really dark. You know, it's a pretty dark brown. It doesn't, I mean, it's not obviously not black, but it's not so chocolatey brown that it's like, wait, are you wearing liner? I really, really, really like that. Another one that I love is this one right here. This is from Make Beauty. This is their Continuum Gel Liner, and the cap goes on so well because if this gets any air in it, she's dead. All right, this is the shade Nebula. Oh, I think this one might be dead. My Nebula pencil in brown from Make, I had left the cap, I hadn't put the cap on tight enough, so she dried out. But I do love this liner. That's where you have to know if you don't put the cap on, game over. So let me show you a different one. Another one that I love that is not brown is this one here. This one's called Gamma Ray. It's a beautiful kind of olive green with a little bit of a gold shift to it. So pretty, so pretty. But when you put this in your lash line, she stays. She doesn't go anywhere. The other thing that I like about this is that it has a brush here on the end, or if you need to sharpen it, there is a sharpener that's built in here. So I love the fact that instead of having like a smudgy kind of foam tip at the end, they have a brush and then a sharpener on here as well. But don't do what I did and leave the cap off, because now I'm not able to have a brown. I'll have to order another one. But I really, really like this formula. This formula is beautiful. Last formula that I love so much with my whole heart is from Persona. This is their 24/7 waterproof eye pencil, and this one is in the shade Stone. Another gel pencil, so keep the cap really tight on this, but I have 5 shades of this formula. The minute I need 5 shades in a formula, I know I am in love. The one that is the most loved is the one in brown. It is so beautiful, and these last perfectly all day long. What I like to do is use these above the lash line, and then I'll also put them in my upper waterline. And then once it completely dries in my upper waterline, if I blink, it doesn't transfer. It may transfer in the process where it's finally setting down. And that's just when I'll take a Q-tip and run it in my lower waterline to clean out any color that there is. But once she's set, she stays. Love this formula so much. These are $16. If you're looking for a good gel pencil, these are great. I did get a recommendation from somebody for some high-end pencils. I'm gonna have to do some research and see if I need to pick up a Valentino or a Dior. But if you have a recommendation for a beautiful eyeliner that sets and stays all day, please let me know what it is in the comment section down below. I have really high expectations though. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Now I'm wiping it off and they don't go anywhere. They are there. These are great. All right, let's talk mascaras. The one that I've been in love with the longest, the one that I can't stop talking about, is still Lancome's Monsieur Big. This is one of those that is all about the volume. It has one of the biggest brushes out of all the mascaras in my collection. It doesn't have one of those silicone molded brushes, but it picks up a lot of product. And this is one where if you want really like fine, feathery, that's not what this gives you. This gives you volume, baby. And sometimes if you just keep layering and layering and layering, it's dramatic, but on the verge of gunky. And there are times that I want not just a dramatic lash, but on the verge of gunky lash, like where it's almost too much. I really love this mascara. One of my favorites. I like that it is a little bit more difficult to get off, so I have to use a balm cleanser or an oil cleanser to break it up, and then a foaming cleanser to get the residual off. But it stays all day, doesn't flake, doesn't smear, doesn't give me raccoon or panda eyes. Love Monsieur Big. All right, another one that I absolutely love is from Hamish. This is their tubing mascara, their Smudge Stop. And I normally pick up the curling one, but right now I have a version of the volumizing one. And the brush is a little bit different. The curling one has a curved wand. This is my favorite tubing mascara. It's a Korean formula, so it's not terribly easy to find. I've purchased it on iHerb, Stylovana, Yes Style. Like you can find it in a lot of places. Olali, but a lot of places that sell Asian makeup will have this. This is so good. I spend about $14 on it, but my favorite thing to do is when it's on sale, get two. Because I'll get them for $7.50 each. And then for $15, I have 2 tubes of my favorite mascara. This doesn't flake. This holds a curl really well. It comes off in tubes. Not every tubing mascara or one that is listed as tubing comes off. Sometimes it comes off in little crumbly bits. No. That one's fantastic, and she's not too expensive. Now, my last favorite mascara, and I'm so sad I fell in love with this because she's expensive, is the Lisa Eldridge Kitten Lash. Now, this has what to me seemed like there's no way I'm gonna like this, because it has one of those silicone molded wands and it's in a curve. Now, I have smaller eyes, and anytime you give me a curved wand, I end up with product on my eyelid. I'm trying to get it on there and somehow I do that. Anytime there is a little spiky wand like this, I poke myself in the eye. This is my second tube of Kitten Lash. I have a third one waiting. I never thought I would be repurchasing and repurchasing not only a curved wand, but a curved and spiky silicone molded wand. This is so good, so good. My favorite thing about this is it doesn't ever feel crispy and crunchy. It never feels like hard. It always feels soft and fluttery. And I get lazy sometimes and I'm like, I'm not gonna curl my lashes, because if I don't curl my lashes, there's no curl and they're just kind of straight and sad and pointing down. But with this one, I don't have to. I can just keep brushing, 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 brushing with the curve of the brush. And the next thing I know, my lashes are lifted and they're curled. And it's not like a dramatic curl, but for someone like me, who my lashes are always kind of like going like this, just to have them just like up just a little bit, I'm like, oh my goodness, thank you, Lisa. I almost forgot about brows. Oh my goodness, two of my favorites are from M Cosmetics. One is their Micro Fluff Sculpting Brow Cream. This is one of those products where you have the tiniest wand, the smallest wand. There are fibers in this product. It's a tinted shade. I use the shade Universal Taupe. And it's so easy because I can back comb my brow hairs. And not only does the tint go through and tint the hairs, it also has fibers, so it starts to build up the fibers and it looks like I have more hairs. So I'll back comb and then I'll comb through things just the way I want them, place it, out the door. Super easy. If I do have places I want to fill in, I do use their fine liner pencil. And I was open the wrong side. This is one of those that's really interesting because it looks so skinny. It is so teeny tiny, and you get the thinnest little hair strokes from this, and which is one of the things that I love. I love a small pencil, like ridiculously small. That's what this is. This is the shade, not Universal, but Deep Taupe. So I use the Universal Taupe in this, the Deep Taupe in that, and it's my favorite. Here's one that I am coming to love nearly as much. This is from the drugstore, and this is like, what, $12 maybe? This is from CoverGirl. This is the Clean Fresh, what's it called exactly? Clean Fresh Brow, their brow liner. It's their 1mm nano pencil. All right, so this guy is so teensy tiny. I love that. And it's great for filling in, just like if you have like a gap in one place. Let me put a little color there. Or let me put a little color here. You don't actually, I do sometimes fill my whole brow in with this, but both of these lines, this one here is the one from CoverGirl, this is the one from M. They're very, very, very fine. I did used to have, and I just finished it up, the micro detailer from Benefit. That's $25. It's great, but I don't want to pay $25 for something I'm going to burn through like that. $12 is right up my alley. So if you're looking for something that's affordable at the drugstore, might I recommend? Thank you so much for watching today. I love doing stuff like this, sharing my favorites with you, as well as products that I already have and continue to love and reach for regularly. Here's where I want to know, did I mention any products that you have and really appreciate? Or are there some that are like your ride or die, your holy grails, your must-haves? Like the minute that it's nearly empty, you're buying another one. Let me know what those are in the comment section down below. Thank you so, so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you again soon. Bye.